Let's take a look at a few examples now to see how we go about evaluating a good argument. And the first one thing we're going to focus on is the fact that an argument needs to have a good foundation, as I mentioned a second ago. Now let's take a look at this argument. That is, all politicians are dishonest. Abraham Lincoln was a politician, therefore Abraham Lincoln was dishonest. Now there's a really good connection, a logically strong connection between the premises and the conclusion. I think it's pretty clear, and we'll know in a couple more lectures we'll get a better understanding of how we'll figure this out, but it's pretty clear that we are going to have a valid argument. That is, that this argument is a valid argument. So from that perspective, it's a good argument. But now in evaluating the argument, and notice we're looking at an argument that's in our standard format. Premises numbered, conclusion, we see which is the premise and which is the conclusion. But now we take a look at it, and as I said, the inference of the conclusion from the premises is supported by a rule of logic. But remember, a good argument needs something more than a good connection between the premises and the conclusion. Go back to the analogy of the house. You can't have a house standing on air. It has to have a good foundation. It has to have something that it's standing on. It just does not float in the air. Now the question is, does this have a good foundation? Well, let's take a look at the premises. Let's take a look first at the second premise. Abraham Lincoln was a politician. You guys buy that one? I mean, he did run for and get elected to the office of the presidency of the United States. He looks like he certainly was a politician. Member of the Republican Party, got nominated to the Republican Party, so he was clearly a politician. But let's take a look at the first premise. All politicians are dishonest. And I put this example up because it's something as kids we all learned. Abraham Lincoln was, the first honest politician. And obviously there are a few honest politicians. Maybe we're a little bit skeptical today because of what we see going on in government. Maybe we're not happy about it. We think that all politicians are corrupt, they're dishonest, but there are a few honest politicians. So when you look at it, that first premise doesn't look like a good one. So this argument doesn't look like it's a good argument. Why? Because to be a good argument, to be a, remember, sound argument, you need to have good premises, that is, true premises. In the case of the one we're looking at, that first premise is not a good one, not a true one.